Hey, I made it. Woo!
And who's that?
This is Mike.
Hey, Mike. Good.
And I just talked to Judy in the other room
Okay.
and told her, check your Gmail account right now. There's a new link because we had a bunch of crazies on the other side there.
A bunch of
cursing.
party crashers.
Yeah, well, that's the problem when you make it public.
I didn't realize that I had made that link public. So
Yeah, no problem.
that's
That's why quite a lot of people that use these things, they have someone on the side as a moderator, and they're quickly booting them off just as fast.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so you got the link. Good. I was just getting ready to type another message, but I copied all of you on it, so they should have it too.
Bonus. I like your drop curtain behind you. You're as bad as me.
Oh, thanks.
It's smart.
Well, my desk is in my kitchen, and there's a lot of stuff on those shelves behind that curtain.
So. Oh, no, it's a smart move. I got these folding things behind me. It works pretty good.
I keep thinking one of these days I should take the curtains down and iron them at least.
Don't want to do that. So this is the first time I've ever been on one of these Google Hangouts.
Oh, okay.
I've been on them as just an observer, like a webinar, but never been around on one.
But never in the live part.
No, I was playing in the other room with the Google effects and all that stuff.
Well, that's part of what we're going to do. So, that's part of why I want to encourage people to do this, because, a lot of people have been a viewer on Hangouts.
Yeah.
Some people haven't done that even, but then they decide, oh, I want to start hosting my own Hangouts, and they've never even been inside to see how this works, So this is like a first step towards deciding what you want to do.
Well, this is great. It's nice to have, if your client happens to have a G Plus account, you can almost do this versus going on Skype or something.
Hangout. Absolutely.
And then make it private right afterwards so that other people can't see it.
Well, I think in that case, what you might want to, it depends on whether you want to record it or not. If you want it recorded, you'd have to do it as a Hangout on air and then make it private afterwards, right? But in the meantime, just share the link with them, and nobody else should find it then.
Well, it should still be on YouTube, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but you could make that unlisted.
Before you start or after?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Oh, there you are.
Might just be after.
I know this is a great. I've talked to a few people, and they've been using this live Hangouts, and then keywording it for affiliate promotions.
Yes. Yeah.
And it seems to work really good for them. It's short term, but it's good for launches. If the launch is at 11, you do it at 11:15.
Well, I haven't done it that close before, but when Lon and Joey had their launch in February, I did a Hangout with Lon about 2 weeks before, and it went right up to the third position on the first page.
Yeah,
but by the time the launch happened, it was nowhere to be seen. So it was a little bit too soon. And you're right. It doesn't, the people that are teaching it say, oh yeah, it'll last. But what I'm finding is it doesn't. Depends on what else you have going on. There are ways to keep it up there, I'm sure, but not just from having it be a Hangout. All right. We seem to have lost our other friends.
I told Judy to check her email.
Okay. She's not the most tech-savvy person, but...
No, she said, should I go on Facebook? And I says, no, two different things.
Yeah. Eric should
Although, check your Facebook. Check your Facebook. Someone might be trying to message you.
Yeah,
Food for thought. Judy commented, can be a fun way to interact with clients.
That's still the old page. Let's see. I'll check my email too and see if anybody's. Okay, there's a message from Judy.
Ah,
Let me email her. Let's see. Oh, is that it? Yes, that is it. Okay. All right. Sent that off to Judy. See if anybody else is trying to get in. Why do I have a new message from you when you are on a microphone?
oh,
You
I'm
don't
still
need to
here.
message me. I know, but you just sent me a message too
Oh, I did. Oh, okay.
in the
Sorry.
chat. Did you type something in the chat?
I believe so. Oh, all I did was type in /user to see if anyone else was on.
Oh, okay.
But then I realized the little cameras down below.
Yeah, although that's only if people come in on the live link.
Mm-hmm.
They could be on the watch page without doing that. And since I set this one up differently than I normally do, I'm not even sure I know where to find them if they're just watching. Because normally I set it up as an event, a scheduled event, and then link it to YouTube. Let's see. No, that was from a while ago. All right, let me check Facebook. So you have the toolkit downloaded already, it sounds like, huh, Michael?
Yep.
That's one of the things I was going to go over with people. Okay, there's a message from you and from Judy, but it's from a while ago, it looks like. So, all right. Normally, I try not to leave Facebook open while I'm in here because just having a lot of things open slows down the bandwidth. All right. I don't know what happens to Eric. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out where they got that link. I guess it must have been when I posted it under the YouTube video, right?
That's where you
And
sent us the first time. Then
right.
I clicked on that, and then when I clicked on the link, and so you popped up in Chrome.
Right.
Then I went to the YouTube and did something or another. I don't know. I just was going crazy.
Right, but I'm saying that's where those other people got the link from, is from
I believe so. Yeah.
video. Yeah. See, I've done that before, but it was on a Saturday morning, so maybe they weren't up yet. Because that hadn't occurred to me that there are trolls out there just looking to crash somebody's Hangout.
That really
And be
surprised
obnoxious.
me.
Yeah, and so many of them.
It's kind of scary.
It didn't scare me so much as just annoy me.
Annoyed,
But,
yeah.
like,
But
that's how you get your kicks, is by going on somebody else's Hangout and being obnoxious. You know,
swearing and cursing and everything
what's
else.
the point? You know, I guess it's
Small minds.
I guess it's the same point as people driving around with their stereo blasting as loud as they can at 2:00 in the morning.
Exactly.
Oh, come on. We lost Cindy and Judy and Eric.
Oh.
And I did message them all, but you know what? Let me just do it once more. Because I know Eric was really looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. I'm just playing all over the place here.
Good. Well, I'll let you teach then once they get here.
Oh, no, no, no. You're the master. I'm just the student.
Okay, that's going to get Eric, but that's not going to get Judy and Cindy because they didn't respond. All right, let me once more to them. Well, fortunately, I was going to try and end this right at 7 my time because I had a sales call scheduled afterwards. But when I asked him if we could push it back about 15 minutes, he said, let's just postpone it because he had other stuff to do. So I don't have anywhere to be afterwards, which means I can deal with this delay. So do you have any questions while we're waiting for the others to show up?
No, I've just been playing around with it. It seems like quite the blast. I got my name on top of my head, as you can see.
Did you do a lower third? Or no, you're playing with the toolkits.
I'm playing with the text.
Yeah.
How do you do a lower third?
I haven't done those.
Oh, hey, there's Eric.
Hey, Eric made it. Great.
Welcome, Eric.
I apologize for the rude start to the party.
Not your fault.
Eric, can you hear us? I see him, but he doesn't look like he's hearing anything. And now he's here twice.
There's two of them. He's twinned.
I don't know how this is happening.
You're here twice.
You got a twin, Eric.
A twin, yeah.
And the other one of you isn't responding, so my guess is that link is not active.
Incredible.
But you don't know where it is to shut it off, probably, huh? Let me see if I can boot you out. And you know, I meant to look up on how to do this ahead of time, and I've never had to throw anybody out of a Hangout before, so there we go. Eject. Okay, I ejected your duplicate, Eric.
Okay. I don't know what's been going on. Like,
Well, I sent out several messages, so maybe you ended up clicking on both of them. And Cindy and Judy haven't made it back in yet, but meanwhile, Mike has been having fun with the toys. So
I will share with you that from the email thread.
Yeah.
It does show like Judy saying, I'm here. I guess you can't hear me.
But was the time on that earlier?
That was 10 minutes ago.
That was 10 minutes ago. Okay. I don't know where she is. Because I saw a comment from her about that, but it was from like half an hour ago, so I think that was from the first one.
Can I give her the link you sent to me?
You can.
Okay.
Bonus.
So I'll tell her to try this.
Judy's was a student of mine before, so I trust her. She's not a troll.
Oh, no.
And, you know, Michael, I have to say, when all those people were popping in, I did not recognize you because you look different than your social media picture, so I didn't know whether you were one of the people I invited or not.
Glad you didn't kick me out.
Yeah.
I would have texted you in Facebook or something.
I couldn't keep up with kicking them out fast enough. That's why it was easier to just shut the whole thing down. So, I'm sorry, it meant getting a late start here, but.
Okay, I sent it out to Cindy and Judy.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I've sent it a couple times too, but maybe they'll see it from you. I was just telling Michael that. Do you prefer Michael or Mike?
Mike is fine.
Okay. I was just telling him I had a sales call scheduled in 15 minutes, but I had messaged him before and said, can we push it back about 15 minutes just in case I'm delayed? And he messaged back and said, let's just postpone it because he had too much going on. So worked out fine. So, Eric, you haven't been on a Hangout like this before, right? So let me start getting
No,
you.
I'm the newbie of the group here.
Well, Michael said he hasn't either, but
Nope.
he's just dove in and started playing around while we're waiting. If you look over on the left side of your screen, you should see something that looks like a little red lunchbox with a handle on the top. It's called
Yes.
Hangout Toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Michael's been playing with if you want to entertain yourself while we wait for Judy and Cindy.
Oh, I'm in the candy store.
Yeah. I don't tend to use those too much, but I was going to introduce some of them tonight.
I'm trying to figure out how to do those lower thirds. I think
I'm going to show that in a minute.
Oh, I'm sure you
I mean,
will.
if you want to keep trying, that's fine, but I will show how to do that.
Oh, thanks, Susan.
Yeah. Although I can't actually show you what's on my screen because I'm not set up to do it that way. That requires being logged in twice on 2 different computers, and
Woo!
that's for serious Hangout teachers. Ooh, what was all those pretty squares?
Background, it's experimental.
Your head's turning green.
And fuzzy around the edges, too.
Experimental.
Ooh. How much fun is that? What else we got hiding in here?
So were
Start
you, Eric,
clicking around, Eric.
you were just on an email exchange with them, or on the chat, or where were you actually communicating with them?
The email that my name was on, and I saw them and replied to it.
Okay. But if you replied to it, it would have come back to me, right?
Well, it looked like it came from them.
Oh,
because
maybe.
they were responding to that message.
Okay.
I see this Hangouts is like a bandwidth CPU hog.
It is, which is why I sent you the link to check your bandwidth ahead of time. Now, it does do some nice things. If you don't have enough bandwidth, it will first shut down your video camera. And what it does instead then is show your Google Plus profile picture. So it'll just be a static picture instead of the live feed from your webcam. So that helps often. You know, I can see if I have somebody on the Hangout who doesn't have a real stable bandwidth. They might be in the film strip, is what people call it, and then suddenly they're gone, and you just see their image instead, or the blank avatar if they haven't put a photo in for their Google Plus profile.
Yeah, I can't believe my CPU is buzzing at around 18% here.
Yeah, it is a bandwidth hog, definitely. I mean, it's live streaming. First of all, it's live streaming me, and then it's live streaming both of you as well.
Well, are we both coming out okay on your end?
Yeah.
Eric sounds great to me.
Yeah. What it does, I don't know if you've noticed, whoever is speaking will get moved up into the big picture in the middle. And then
Say something, Eric.
I will continue to speak like a robot.
Yeah, I see. Now it pops back up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then now you're up in the middle. I don't know if you see when you're up there, but we see it. Now, the other thing is that as a presenter, I can control that. So if I don't want it to respond to people's voices, I can just lock on to whoever I want to be displayed.
Ooh,
So
you're the
like
God type person.
So if one person is talking and others
Please.
are, making
We bow.
affirmant noises or whatever, then you can keep that from showing up. And I do that sometimes when I run my interviews, because for the audio part, I like to be able to say, while I'm listening to them talk for a while. But if I do that, then it flips my picture up there for that second and then back again. So I usually will click on them and keep them on the main screen while they're talking. But that's a little tricky. It took me a while to get good at doing that. And sometimes I still will forget to change it. I forget that I have it locked on them, and then I start talking and they're still on the screen, which isn't the end of the world either. But at the moment, I don't even remember how I do that. Let's see if I can. Yep, there we go. Okay, so now Eric's locked on, even though I'm talking, he's in the middle. Can you see that, Mike?
No.
No?
Okay, you know what? Maybe it only shows for the...
I'm locked out because when I talk, I don't suddenly appear, but Eric did.
Right, but it's not that they're locked out, that you're locked out. It's that I've got Eric centered as the person to be in the middle of the screen.
No, right now
I
you
can
are.
switch it. Really?
All right.
Yep.
You're
there's
seeing...
Eric. But I don't see myself anymore.
You're not down here because you're on the big screen.
No, I'm not on the big screen. I'm
you
on
are
the bottom.
For me.
Oh.
But not. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. So what's getting recorded will show you on the big screen, but you as a participant are not seeing that change. That's interesting. I did not know that. All right. So now we're back to normal. As normal as we can be. All right, I am not going to wait any longer for them. If they join us still, that's great. But that's odd. I wonder why it says we have one viewer when we actually have two. One of you is invisible.
Maybe they're out on the YouTube side instead of in the plus.
And one viewer in addition to the two of you. That's possible. Yeah, and I don't know where to find the YouTube for this one because I set it up differently. Let me see. I'll go check on my YouTube channel and see if I can find them. Oh no, I think it's me there because that's where I launched it from. I don't see anybody else there, so I think we lost them, which is too bad, but I'll catch them on the next one. I may start doing these fairly regularly, I think. And I'll just have to get my procedures down for how to keep the trolls out. All right, so let's see. Let me show you how to do your lower thirds. So you have your Hangout toolbox, right? If you open that up, you should have, it should open up on the right side of your screen.
Left.
No, the toolbox is in the menu on the left. Oh, is it reversed? I'm seeing it on the left, and then when it opens, it's on the right. Is it the opposite for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. All right, so wherever you're seeing it, in the right or the left, it's Hangout Toolbox, right? And then the first little button that you have underneath the title looks like a little people icon.
Yep.
That's the one that you click on to open the lower third app. And it brings up two lines. The first one has your profile name. So Mike, it should be your name. Eric, for you, it probably says the profit solution. And mine says Creative Marketing TV. So what I usually do is copy that to the second line where it says enter tagline, and then I put my name in the top line. But you can, of course, do it any way that you want. You can change the color. You can add a logo, although I normally tell people not to mess with that when we're getting ready to start the interview. If you want to go play with it another time, that's fine, but it can take some tweaking to get the logos to work right. What it brings in by default, once you close out of this, it'll bring in your profile picture. So for me, because this is a business page, I don't have my photo there for my profile picture. I have that little light bulb picture, and it'll bring that in. But normally you would have a picture there. Or if you don't have a photo, then it'll have the little blank avatar. And then the color, if you click on the color thing, I think that just changes the background of the whole, oh no, it changes the upper stripe on it. That's what it is. The main part is still white, but you can change the color of the stripe above it. There's also something called a custom overlay, and I don't really quite understand what that is. I haven't used it. Another thing you need to do is you don't necessarily need to save it at the bottom, but you can save it and give it a name, and then when you're on the next Hangout, it should be there for you as long as you're on the same computer, I think. But it might not even have to be on the same computer, I'm not sure. And then the last thing you have to do is up at the top, the same line where it says lower third, over on the right, there's a toggle that you have to turn it on, because by default it's turned off. Okay, so you see mine just popped up with the blue line at the top. Normally I have one that I've saved down here that I use, but we'll use the blue one tonight. Matches my shirt. I have one with a gold line that I use normally.
Do you have a specific size that you use for that?
It comes up by default.
Okay, because I just was wondering if it would get stretched out or whatever.
Now, you can make your own, you know, with other software, and then I'm not even sure how you import that, but there is a way to import them. And then you would be able to change the size, I think, but I don't think you can change the size on the ones that it's creating by default here with the toolbox.
Well, how did you get it to the bottom? I get one right across the middle.
Usually it's up at the top, isn't it? Huh. Why is that?
Are you using that custom overlay, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's up in the middle. Yeah, turn that off.
Okay.
And then it should put it near the bottom. Now, one other thing, I don't know if this shows for you or not, but for me, mine shows up backwards. And if that bothers me and I want to switch it around where we turned it on, there's a little button that you can click to mirror what the audience is seeing. I don't usually bother because I know it's me. But if I switch that, it won't look any different to you, but it'll look different to me.
So if you put a logo up there where it says choose logo, how would you get rid of it? Or is it stuck there forever?
That's a good question. Probably close out of the toolbox maybe and then go back in and start a new one. Oh. I don't know that you'll be able to remove it. I think you'll probably just have to create a new lower third. But I don't know if that'll get rid of it just closing the toolbox. Hopefully you don't have to close out of the Hangout completely.
Not going to happen. Not till you say it's going to.
Not with this one. I don't think you want to take a risk on that.
No.
All right, so that's really the only thing that I use for the lower third, but I mean for the toolbox, but as you guys know, there are plenty of other things you can play with. So I can adjust people's volume as well if somebody's talking too loud or too soft. I can turn the comment tracker on and off. I don't normally use that, but I probably should. Don't need it today because everybody is live. And then there's a question box that I can turn on as well, which I have not been using, but I was just thinking this week that that's something that I should also use.
Mike is on the Kool-Aid over there.
He sure is.
Well, I've got a supercomputer. When I play with this background effect, I'm just watching it jump up. CPU usage 45%.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Now, so the Hangout Toolbox is one of the apps, right? And then, of course, oh, and to get out of it, by the way, when you're finished setting up your lower third, then you just have to click on it again in the panel. There's not really a close button where it has it open. You just click where you originally clicked to open it. If you click on that again, it'll close it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. So then, let's see. We have a draw app that lets you draw on people's faces. So I can draw myself a new pair of glasses or a mustache. Somebody else drawing that too?
No.
Why am I getting two then, I wonder? And you can change the color of what you're drawing. So. Unfortunately, you can't just draw anywhere on the screen. The only thing it lets you do is draw on people's faces. Not terribly helpful, I don't think.
Because my image is stuck there.
What
I'm making
image?
a quick PNG with just one pixel by one pixel, because I want to see if that'll quickly fix it.
Oh, to fix your lower third, you mean?
Right, because I've got this giant thing on the bottom left-hand corner.
Your logo.
Right, it got all sort of distorted, so
yeah.
Let's see if I can do this.
Now you usually
How
turn
to
it
fix
off
it on the fly.
Now, Eric, I don't know if you have not discovered the Google Effects yet.
The crown.
That's where my crown came from, or I could be the cat in the hat if I'd rather, or
So what does
Bozo
it
the
do?
clown.
It picks out for you, huh?
Well, you can click on whatever you want to try. I could have a tiara or be a pirate. And then there is a randomize at the bottom if you wanted to let it pick for you. Well, that one's kind of weird. Again, that's, to me, I don't see a whole lot of value in that unless you need to have a momentary laughter to wake people up or something. Then that might be kind of fun. It's this one. I guess I need to turn off the randomize before. No? How do I turn it off? Oh, now that's good, isn't it? I'm going to go scuba diving with my tiara on. And now I have a halo, too. All right. Okay, where'd you find the cash register?
It's a left mouse, right mouse, or right arrow, left arrow by the effects.
Yeah, and the applause, right. Oh, and that's where the experimental stuff is that he was doing. Yeah, I know the one I've heard people use the most is the applause, but this ticking clock is good too.
How do you get rid of it?
You just have to click the X up in the corner to close the whole effects window.
No, it's still on me.
Oh, down at the bottom, there's a remove effects.
Oh.
You see it down where the randomize is?
Yep,
there you go.
Phew.
You're back to normal. We're getting echo again from you, Eric, so.
My laptop working overtime.
You know what? That might be that whatever that second instance was that I ended up booting out of the Hangout. If your speakers and mic are still interacting there. But right now I'm not hearing it, so I'm not going to worry about it. It was just momentary. All right, let's see. What else do we have over here? There are some useful apps too, which I don't know whether you see the control room. I think that might be just something that the facilitator sees. That's where I can go in, and that's where I was muting everybody from there.
Yeah, it's grayed out for us.
Okay. And I can turn their webcams off too if somebody decided to get really obnoxious. Then we have a cameraman app, which lets you take snapshots of whatever's on the screen. And it also, no, wait a minute, I might be wrong. That's a different app, I think. This one, oh, this is the one that I needed to use before. That lets me mute everybody as they join. That's what I needed. I knew there was a way to do that, I just couldn't remember where it was, because I've never had to use it before. All right. Then there is one that says capture. That is the one that lets you take a snapshot of what's on the screen. So, you know, if you wanted to capture some of the screenshots, basically, of the Hangout, you could do that. And then there's a Q&A app, Showcase, and there are more apps than this. The 3 buttons down at the bottom there will bring up the add apps, and you can find all kinds of things on there. Some of them are actually a little bit useful.
Watch YouTube videos together?
Yes.
Is that like a distant relationship or something?
No, I guess it's, you know, if you had a video that you wanted to use as an example when you were teaching something, you could bring that up and show it.
Sure. Well, I thought maybe a distant couple could go out to watch the movies.
On their various computers.
Their Hangout, yeah.
That's for introvert couples, right?
Yes, definitely.
No, you know, there is an app, though, that I can't remember exactly what the name is, but it's for parents to read a bedtime story to their kids when they're out of town for their jobs.
I got it right here.
That was pretty clever.
Yeah, a story before bedtime.
Yeah. So, you know, the kids at home with one parent and the other parent's on the road, they can get on a hangout with them and read a bedtime story.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. So I am going to share my screen with you for a minute and bring up my PowerPoint and show you another way that you can interact on a Hangout.
So only the moderator can share the screen?
I don't know. Do you have a green arrow that says share?
Nope, I don't see one.
It's only the moderator that can do that.
Oh, screen share. Yes, I do.
You do have it? Okay.
Let's take a look. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
Go.
Yeah,
Get
but
rid
see,
of that fast.
that's what happens because you are in the film strip and you share your screen, then it shares you sharing your screen, sharing your screen, sharing your screen. So you want to get out of that.
So how do you get out of it?
You just, no, you didn't. You should have a stop sharing button, or you click back on the left menu.
Is it gone?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I see you. Or I see your screen now. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so you can share your screen, but it's not a good idea. All right, are you still seeing it? Because it's not looking the way I normally does.
10 creative ways.
Yeah,
And you got
okay.
a stopwatch? Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, let me see if I can put it into slideshow mode. You still with me?
I think we lost Eric. Oh, there he's back, I think. Yep. He's just muted himself.
Right,
Okay.
I had a call come in.
Okay.
Ah, never-ending job.
All right, so what we're going to do on this is my big agenda for the Hangout. Can you tell what it is?
Time.
Are you seeing the stopwatch?
Yep.
No, you shouldn't be. I'm not doing this right then. Let me get out of here.
Ideas, think?
Yeah, that's the one you should be seeing.
Nope, not anymore.
Let me see here. Stop presenting. Let me try it again. Okay, now are you seeing the box?
Yes.
Okay, so do you know what it means?
You have to think up some ideas? Reading it backwards? Come on, Eric, tell us what it is.
Think outside the box.
Yay, you got it.
Yay!
All right, so what we're going to do, oh, and I forgot to set up the timing on these. I'll just have to click through it. We're going to create a visual story. And normally I have it set for 1 second on each slide, and I just realized I forgot to set up the timings on them. So we'll just have to have me do it manually. And Mike, why don't you start, and then we'll go to Eric, and then to me, and then back to Mike, and then back to Eric, and until we run out of slides. Okay? So actually, I'll give you an introduction on the next one, and then we'll go from there. So we have, our family is trying to decide on 4 different places that they might want to go for their summer vacation. And I'll show you on the next slide which one they chose, and then you can start making up the story. Okay, Mike, you're on.
Ooh, the never-ending story here. I have no idea. It was a hot August day, and we went to the park. Wonderful carnival. Disneyland. I'm not sure what you're expecting me to try and do here, Susan. Sorry.
You're doing just fine.
Okay.
Eric, you're on.
Unfortunately, when the kids were all exhausted, they headed back to their hotel where they found out that they were in the Twin Peaks.
Okay. So we got in a cab and left the hotel and went out and had a nice dinner instead. And got back to the hotel. It wasn't so bad after all. We had a good night's sleep, and then the next day, Mike?
We went on the roller coaster and we drove and it reminded me of when Dad drove back to the hotel. It was so fast.
Eric?
Turns out that the oldest sister forgot her digital camera on the ride.
Uh-oh. Well, that's actually the end of the story, so we'll never know whether she got her camera back or not.
Funny.
All right. Let's do one more. So this time we're going to go on a cruise. And Michael, you are up.
Being on a cruise, it was like our own beach resort with a pool and all the luxuries of being out on the beach. Next.
Eric?
And boy, was it sunny. I had an opportunity to bring out our beach balls and wear our special sandals that were colored just like our car.
My dad actually had a car that color when I was a kid. And this time we stayed at a nice resort hotel. It was very fancy. The cruise made a couple stops, and they had nice accommodations for us every place that we went. And one of the things that we did was...
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I saw this person walking down the hallway. I got horrified, afraid that zombies were now attacking on the ship. What zombies everywhere, so why not on the cruise ship?
Eric?
And all I could imagine was perfecting my golf swing as I was being attacked by the zombies.
Well, fortunately, it was all a bad dream. And when we woke up the next morning, we were still at the nice resort, and we went down to the beach and made sandcastles and collected seashells.
By the seashore.
But I kept my surfboard just in case I had to take off.
That's
Eric?
right.
You got the camera again.
And that's right. No matter what I was thinking about, if I only would have remembered to bring my camera to the beach.
Oh, you and that camera.
Okay.
All right. You guys took that story in a very different way than I was expecting. I like the zombies, though. All right. I don't know whether you've seen my infographic that I posted up about 10 ways to use Hangouts, but I figured it might be a little easier to see on the screen here. And we could talk about a few other ways that you could get creative with Hangouts. As Mike already mentioned, I don't know if you were on, Eric, when he said this or not, but you could have a private Hangout with a client just the same way that you would on Skype, you know, and share screen that way. The only problem with that, Mike, is that I've been finding it's sometimes not real easy for people to get onto the Hangout. But because they
jump through a few hoops, that's true.
Well, not only that, but they sometimes jump through the wrong hoop. So what I've had people do sometimes is they go into Google Plus and they see a link for Hangouts and they click on that. And what they end up doing is starting their own Hangout, and then they can't understand why they don't see me. You know? And I can't understand why they're not joining, because I say, did you click on the link that I sent you? And they say yes. But somewhere along the way, they clicked on start a Hangout instead.
Mm-hmm.
So once I finally figured that out, then what'll happen then is I finally had to give up with one of them. I had two people that were supposed to be on it. They both had done that. So when we finally gave up because I had to go do something else, then when I closed out my Hangout, I had these two Hangout invitations waiting from them in Google+. So that was when I started understanding what had happened. So now I try to be extra clear about my instructions, that you're not going to start a Hangout. You have to just click on the link that I sent you, and that will bring you into my Hangout instead of starting your own,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
I don't know for sure if it solved the problem, but so far it's been okay. One of the things I thought it would be good for is kind of like what we're just doing right now, to have a small group of your clients on a call for a kind of coaching call. And once the recording is finished, you can make it private. You could do it either for free or as a paid Hangout, if you have part of a product or part of a service that you're selling. You could also, with a few of your clients, do feedback and hot seat kind of sessions, or a Q&A session about a particular topic. And I thought it would be, and that's part of what I'm using it for actually, is to start building JV relationships and partner relationships with other people. When I'm doing this interview series, some of those people are people that I may end up doing business with at some point. In the meantime, a couple of them have already become referral partners for me, and I for them. Plus you'll impress them by letting them know that you know how to use this technology, which a lot of people are still avoiding. You may or may not know that you can edit a Hangout, and part of what I do with my interviews is I create short clips from the interview, because I do about a half-hour interview. Some people do even longer, and then I'll create shorter clips, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'll post those with a link at the end with an annotation to take them to the full recording.
So do you edit it straight in YouTube, or do you download it?
I know you can do that, but I don't. I do not like the YouTube editor. I just download the MP4, and then I go through it and look for where's a nice couple-minute clip that, and I'll make maybe a couple of those out of an interview. Sometimes I only get one done. Sometimes I have one from January that I haven't done any from yet. The full recording is up, but I haven't made any shorter clips. Yeah, I know you can edit them in YouTube, and for some reason, every time I've tried to use it, it just doesn't work the way I think it should be working.
So much easier in Camtasia.
Absolutely. But there are times when I would like to cut out the beginning if I've been on early and waiting for somebody, and I can't even figure out how to do that inside of YouTube. I do what I think I'm supposed to do, and it just doesn't work. So someday I'll figure that out. Now, this one that I wrote about a couple months ago, I did a blog post with some of these ideas. This idea of progressive content sharing sounded like fun to me, although I haven't figured out the logistics of how that would work. Do you guys know what progressive dinners are? Did you ever hear of that before?
Or is that like a bar crawl? You just go to the next one?
Well, kind of, except that it's in people's homes, My parents used to do it when I was a kid. They had a group of friends from their church, mostly people that they played pinochle with once a month. And so once in a while they'd have a progressive dinner, and my sister and I thought it was so exciting, We were happy to help clean the house because all these people were coming over for dinner, But what they would do then is they'd all go to one house first for appetizers, probably drinks too. and then they go to the next house to have a salad, and then they go to the next house for the main course, and then they go to another house for dessert, and then they end up at somebody's house for coffee, or however you divided it up like that. But so I don't know, it just popped into my head when I was writing that blog post, and I haven't figured out exactly how to make it work, but someday you might get an invitation to do a progressive content sharing from me when I get it figured out. Whether it would be on a Hangout or not, I don't know. And I think both of you probably know from Anthony's teachings that you can record a Hangout by yourself and get some extra Google juice from it.
Yep.
Here's part of what we're doing right now, helping clients learn how to, or friends learn how to use Hangouts. One of the things that I've been thinking, if I can get enough people interested, I may start offering this as a service for business owners to do the Hangout with them, help them teach their clients how to use it while I'm teaching them as well, and then they can start using it in their business.
I can't see too many people using this versus Skype, though, because it uses up so much bandwidth, and
Well, Skype,
it could be public easy if they didn't follow the right guidelines.
Can you do a group call
Oh, yeah.
with screen sharing in Skype?
Mm-hmm.
You can? Oh, I didn't know
Yep.
that. Well,
You could easily record it with, there's different types of software, like, well, you could use Camtasia.
yeah,
Or,
which most people don't have.
or there's some software like, I've got Super Tintin, which puts multiple people right beside each other, I think up to 4 in a screen.
Oh, I
Is that
haven't heard
free?
that one.
Yeah.
Is that one free, Mike?
No, unfortunately. I do believe they have a 15 or a 30-day download.
Trial.
Trial, exactly, where
Yeah.
it fully works. Super TIN. If you just Google
Okay.
that, you'll get it.
Okay, I hadn't heard of that one. I know Pamela Call Recorder is the one I've heard of people using some in Skype.
It's
And then
called
there's-
Call Recorder.
I think it's Pamela Call Recorder.
Yeah, they're both the same thing. The only difference is you have the option with Super Tintin to just get the audio,
Okay.
or just have one person on the screen versus having 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for if you had to do a video conference with your sales reps,
Yeah.
which is what it's usually used for.
Uh-huh.
What
Well,
I
and I
like,
know- Oh, go ahead, Eric.
what I like is anything that's connected for my mobile device.
Mm-hmm.
So Skype works well with that. So if they're on the go, they can, use it that way, and the GoToWebinar. Those are why I'm a fan of those anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
Hangouts has a mobile app too.
Oh, they
I
do?
haven't used it, but they do have one. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try that out.
Yep.
Likewise.
I know you can join a Hangout from a mobile app. I'm not positive whether you can run one, but I think you can. I just haven't tried it.
Well, maybe it'll be easier for individuals to join from their cell phone.
Yes, except that is that day that I had 2 people trying to get on. They were out of town and they were using a mobile device, and I think it must look different when you come in on a mobile, and I haven't checked that out yet to see, and one of them has an Android phone, so I don't know what it will look like for you to join the Hangout from a mobile device, or whether it's going to be too tempting for them to just launch Hangouts and end up starting their own. So that's something that I have to explore yet. And then I know there's another program that, Mike, do you remember what Doug Green said he was using for those recordings he did, where he had the people side by side?
You mean in Skype?
Yeah, in Skype.
I believe it was Super Tintin.
Was it? That doesn't sound familiar. I think it was a different name, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. Anyway, you know, there probably are lots of different ways to do it with Skype and with Google Plus. I mean, with Hangouts. I do know that because it's a Google property, it does connect with a lot of other things, right? And the more you're using Google's toys, the more toys they give you, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they also, a lot of people don't even realize this is available. There is, one of the complaints I hear from people is that Hangouts, the quality is not good enough, right? The video quality and the audio quality is not good enough. But they have a live event kind of streaming that has much higher quality. And I have not learned yet how to set that up, but I am signed up for the training. I just haven't done it.
You mean through like Wirecast?
I don't think it's called Wirecast. I think it's called YouTube Live. I think that was the name of it. But people use it sometimes to broadcast events, like concerts and things. But I don't know too much about it at this point. Anyway, it's too soon to tell, I think, whether Hangouts are really going to make it or not. But, the one last benefit that I would say is that the recording is pretty easy. Having to get a third-party app installed and know how to use it and get it set up, you don't have to deal with any of that in a Hangout. It just records. When you finish the broadcast, it stops recording. It's on your YouTube channel. There's nothing to do. Unless you want to enhance it, but
yeah, that's nice. It's just when you make mistakes or want to correct yourself,
right?
You either download it or live with it.
That's right.
One or the other.
That's right. Yeah, and if you download it and then re-upload it as a video, then you're losing the benefit of it being a Hangout, right? The SEO benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to normally not edit the full Hangout, and then I just, like I said, create those shorter clips. All right, so, a couple of the other things that I had in mind to do really are going to be better with a few more people, so let me get out of the slides at this point and just see whether you guys have any other questions about Hangouts, or if there's anything that I didn't go over here. No, I think we covered. Oh, just one thing I'll point out. I guess you may have noticed it at the top in the middle of the screen. You have little buttons to invite other people. Oh, you're giving me a beard. Or to turn off your microphone or your webcam if you need to. Now, the Hangout will adjust its bandwidth automatically if it needs to. Like if somebody is on that doesn't have enough bandwidth, it will shut down their webcam. Not shut it down, but it keeps it from displaying. Oh, that tiara is perfect on you, Mike. So if you have somebody that is in the film strip here and suddenly you're just seeing the avatar picture instead of the live feed, that's because they had a bandwidth issue.
Okay.
And you should know if you need to check your settings if you get on a Hangout ever and maybe people aren't hearing you or your webcam's not displaying. This little wheel here, if you click on that, it'll let you check the settings for both your webcam and your microphone. occasionally when I come in, mine will have selected the default mic instead of the one that I want it to, so then I have to go in and change that.
There's even adjust your bandwidth too.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
And then
To audio.
I don't think you have access to this, but as the person running the Hangout, there's another thing over here on the side too that lets me. This mostly affects the visual, I think. You can do enhanced or focus or brighten, and that looks
that's your screen. That's your screen.
It's just my screen, I think. But do you have that or not?
I was playing with that. Oh, and the drop down.
No, on the right side. Well, maybe it's your left side. I don't know. It says original by default. It's just a little black bar with white letters on it.
I thought I saw something.
My guess is that you probably don't have it, but I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, I know where that was.
So that's pretty much what I have. If you guys have any questions, I'll answer. But
are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Okay. Is there a way to stop the recording?
When
yes.
You stop.
I see.
I can stop broadcasting.
I didn't know that there was a difference on that. That's why I was...
I can't stop recording unless I stop broadcasting, but since we don't have anybody else in the audience at this point, I can stop broadcasting. Because you're in the film strip, you'll still be here, and then we'll be like what they call it in the green room, you know, where we can still talk, but it's not being broadcast or recorded.
I see. I see. So they offer you that option, and is that an on and off, or is it a one-time switch?
It's a one-time switch.
I see.
I believe. Actually, no, but I never thought about that before, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Because once I stop the broadcast, I don't think I can restart it.
No, I believe once you do it, that's it. It's finished.
Yeah, I think I'd have to start a new Hangout at that point.
Very nice. Great job.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yay.
Would have, like I said, I had a few more activities that I would have done if we had more people, but...
Here we go.
Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for coming, guys, and thanks for playing the games and playing with the toys on the screen. And I'll let you know if I'm going to do this again. If you want to jump back on, by then I'll have some more apps on here that I'm going to introduce as well. There's one that I just read about recently that you can get a whiteboard on the screen that everybody in the film strip can write on the whiteboard, so that you could use it to do planning together on something. You know, maybe you're creating a new website or something, you know, and you want to get everybody to help design it, or creating a flow chart for your business or something like that. You could all draw on the board together.
Cool.
And I also heard that there are some integrations, such as Uber Conference. So if someone wanted to just dial in, they could dial in, and you still could run the Hangout.
So they would just be on the phone and not
Correct.
on the screen.
Correct.
Interesting. And that's called Uber Conference. I hadn't heard about that.
UBER, Uber Conference.
Yeah. I'll check into that.
What I'm invited to from another project, this is how they can keep everyone connected. So if you can't be in the Hangout, you just do the dial-in.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that way somebody could even join in from their car and listen. I mean, they could, with the app, they could anyway, but if they're driving and they can't watch it, then why not just come in on the phone instead of, it probably uses up less battery that way, you know.
Right. And the Uber Conference is free also.
Right. Oh, free for the phone call, you mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
Uh-huh. Good. Yeah, which is the Hangout would be too, but the Hangout would be using data minutes, or
Correct.
data gigabytes, or however you measure that. Okay, well that's good to know about. Thank you. And you guys know, of course, I imagine you know about some of the third-party apps that work with Hangouts, right? Like Webinar Jam and
I've never seen Webinar Jam stable yet.
you know, I have it actually, and I had started out using it, but
Uh-huh.
I ran into some problems, and then when Zane Miller was teaching this 2 years ago, he started teaching a class in the summer about how to make money from Hangouts, and I took that, and it was kind of confusing to me. And then about 6 months later, he started teaching something else, and I signed up, and it was still confusing, but I just went through it enough times that I eventually started getting it. Um, and he says, I don't know why people are spending all the money for those apps when you can do it without, you know. But I understand why they're doing it. It's because they don't want to take the time learning everything that
Right.
I learned to run it. You know, they want to use an app that's built on top of it that makes it really easy for them. My experience was Webinar Jam was a little bit easier, but it's not super easy either. There's a lot of back-end setup that you have to do. The nice thing that it does add is the marketing piece,
Hmm.
where it lets you send out follow-up emails and things like that, and pre-event emails. Well, and then the other nice thing is it has some things that you can bring in during the event. There's a live polling feature, which is really nice. That's
Easy
something that I
webinar.
wish somebody would build into the toolkit as a nice polling feature.
Another thing you might want to check out is Easy Webinar.
You know what? I bought that one too,
I've
and
got it too.
I never really got that one working for me. And then I bought one back in February or March, I think, that I can't remember the name of now. And I haven't tried that one yet. It was pretty inexpensive compared to the others. And I've heard some people say that it's not nearly as good. But
I've tried Easy Webinar before, but the problem was I had Wi-Fi downstairs here,
Mhm.
and it just doesn't jive with Wi-Fi.
It doesn't. And that's part of the problem that I had even when I took Zane's class the first time. I was still on Wi-Fi. And when I tried to run the webinar jams, I was on Wi-Fi too. So that may have been part of the problem I had. Now I'm still on Wi-Fi, but the computer that I'm using is cabled into the router. So that's as good as it's going to get for now. It's Wi-Fi coming into the building.
Hmm.
No, it's not. I take that back. That's cabled.
It's cabled and then Wi-Fi to your computer
No, it's
from
Wi-Fi
your
to my
router.
other computer. The
Right.
computer that I'm running the Hangout on is plugged into the router.
Well,
The
thank you very
50
much.
Ethernet cable.
Thank you very much, Susan. A pleasure
You're
meeting you,
welcome.
Eric.
Pleasure
You're
meeting you
welcome.
Let me
too,
know
Mike.
when you do it again.
Yeah, I'm surprised you guys don't know each other because you're both
You're in Anthony's group also?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to have to look you up.
Oh, please do.
Yep. And the other places that I know you both from, I don't think you overlap. So, but you should. But you are both in the speed rankers.
Oh, we're probably in other groups. We just sort of pass by each other.
You're not in the Learn Camtasia group, are you, Eric?
No, I'm not. Learn Camtasia. Do they give it away for free? Learn
No.
Camtasia?
No, they can't even discount it, I don't think, but they do give some free training with it if you buy it through their link.
Hmm.
You don't use Camtasia?
Well, I have to use Camtasia for Mac, and I tried it one time, and I was kind of Don't
They
know.
don't teach the Mac
No.
version.
What?
They're PC people.
ScreenFlow works much better on a Mac. That's all I hear.
Actually, I know some people that use Mac Camtasia for Mac. It's much cheaper for the Mac
Yeah.
than for the PC. So
Rich uses it.
Rich, that's right, Rich does. Right.
He's quite the expert.
Yeah, if you need some
Anyways,
help, if you
I
need
hate
some
to
help,
be
let me
rude.
know, Eric, and we'll connect you with Eric and see if he'll do some coaching with you or something.
Okay.
Because it is
Take
different
care,
than the
all.
PC version, I know. All right.
I gotta fly.
Okay.
Thanks again for
Yep.
everything.